Ethan Cole had always liked machines more than people. Maybe it was because machines made sense. They followed rules, had logic, and never judged him for wearing grease-stained clothes or talking to himself while working. He had spent most of his life fixing things no one else wanted to touch, things that were broken beyond hope. But today, nothing in his life had prepared him for what he was about to see. The scrapyard stretched for miles. It was a quiet place at first glance, but that quiet felt heavy, like the weight of history pressing down on the metal debris scattered across the orbiting station. Ships of every size floated in the void, some reduced to nothing more than twisted metal, while others still hummed with faint energy, long past the point anyone had thought them useful. Ethan had come here to salvage parts from a few smaller ships, but the real prize, the thing that had brought him halfway across the galaxy, was impossible to miss even from a distance. It was enormous, so large that the human eye could not take it all in at once. The colossal warship drifted silently among the junk, its hull dark and matte, scarred from battles that must have happened centuries ago. It looked dead, abandoned by everyone, left to float endlessly in the cold black. But Ethan could feel it differently. He had seen many old ships, and this one was not dead. It was waiting. "Think you can handle it?" a voice called from behind. Ethan turned to see Maya Brooks standing at the entrance to the scrapyard's docking bay. She was smaller than him, with short brown hair tied back in a messy knot, and eyes that seemed too bright for the dark station. She held a datapad in one hand and a toolkit in the other. "I heard you're good with impossible jobs," she said. "Well, this is impossible." Ethan smirked. Impossible is just a word aliens use when humans aren't around to fix things. Maya shook her head, but there was a spark of amusement in her eyes. "Then let's see if you're right." They floated toward the colossal ship in a small maintenance pod, the hum of its engines faint but present. The closer they got, the more Ethan could see the details. The ship's surface was jagged in places, almost organic, like it had grown instead of being built. There were areas of the hull that glowed faintly, pulsing with an energy that no human engineering should have produced. Panels of alien metal shifted slightly under invisible forces, and small openings appeared and disappeared along the sides as if the ship were breathing. "Looks dead to me," Maya muttered. Ethan shook his head. "Dead things don't move like that." They docked at a small opening near the ship's middle section, just large enough for them to slip inside. As soon as the airlock sealed behind them, Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. The interior was unlike anything he had seen. Massive corridors stretched endlessly, and the walls shimmered with a strange light that seemed alive. Panels and wires intertwined in ways humans could not replicate, and strange symbols glowed faintly across control interfaces. He knelt by a console and ran his fingers over the surface. The metal was cold but not lifeless. Energy pulsed faintly beneath the surface. "It's asleep," he whispered. "This ship isn't broken, it's just resting." Maya crouched beside him, scanning the interface with her datapad. "Sleeping for how long?" she asked. "Hundreds, thousands of years." "Longer," Ethan said. "Maybe since before humans even left Earth." They moved deeper into the ship, their footsteps echoing in the wide, empty corridors. Strange shapes shifted in the shadows. Sometimes it looked like machinery, sometimes like something organic. Ethan kept his hand on his tool belt, ready for anything. Despite the eerie quiet, he felt a strange excitement. This ship was alive in a way humans could not fully understand, and he was the first human to set foot inside it. In a large chamber at the center of the ship, they found the control core. It was enormous, a web of alien machinery intertwined with glowing energy conduits. Ethan could feel the power humming through the walls, and he realized that this was the heart of the ship. If he could restart this core, he could wake the whole vessel. He knelt beside the interface, studying the alien symbols. "I don't even know where to start," Maya admitted. "Everything here is beyond our tech." Ethan smiled faintly. "That's the point. Humans don't follow rules like this. We find our own way." He began connecting small modules from his toolkit, improvising adapters that could interface with the alien systems. Sparks flew as he bypassed old circuits, and the ship responded immediately. Faint hums became louder, and the energy pulsing through the walls shifted, almost like a heartbeat. Maya watched in awe. "It's alive," she said softly. "It's responding to us," Ethan said. "It's learning what we're doing." Hours passed as they worked, navigating alien systems with human intuition. The ship was vast, and Ethan could not access everything at once, but every small section they activated showed the same pattern. This was not just a weapon. It was designed to adapt, to grow stronger with its crew. And humans, Ethan realized, might be exactly what it needed. As they explored, they found signs of the ship's history. Deep in the hull were chambers filled with alien weapons and equipment, frozen in stasis. Records hinted at battles that spanned entire star systems, at civilizations rising and falling around the ship. But there were also signs of abandonment, like the ship had been left to survive without guidance, waiting for someone to awaken it. Why would they leave something this powerful behind? Maya asked. Ethan shook his head. Maybe they knew no one could handle it. Maybe they wanted someone who thinks differently, someone human. As night fell, or as close to night as it could be in space, the ship stirred more visibly. Lights along the corridors pulsed rhythmically, and doors that had been sealed for centuries opened slowly. Ethan and Maya realized that the ship was responding not just to their tools, but to their presence. It seemed to sense them, to acknowledge that they were there to repair it, not destroy it. "Do you feel that?" Maya asked. "Yeah," Ethan said. "It's like it's alive, like it knows we're human." They spent the next few days exploring more of the ship. Ethan found maintenance tunnels filled with broken alien systems and started repairing what he could. Every time he fixed a module, the ship seemed to hum with gratitude. Maya analyzed data cores, translating fragments of alien code into human-readable formats. Together, they were bringing the ship back from the dead, and every success filled Ethan with a sense of wonder he had never known before. One day, deep in the lower decks, they stumbled upon the alien crew quarters. No living beings remained, but personal artifacts were frozen in time. Holograms flickered faintly, showing images of alien officers in strange uniforms going about their daily routines. Ethan paused at a small table where a datapad lay, its screen cracked but still functional. He tapped it gently, and a record played. The aliens spoke in a language Ethan could not understand, but the emotion was clear. Pride, fear, hope. They had built this ship to be more than just a weapon. It was a symbol, a protector, a force that could change the galaxy. And somehow Ethan realized the ship had chosen humans to continue its purpose. Maya placed a hand on his shoulder. "This is bigger than us," she said quietly. "We can't even imagine what this ship could do." Ethan nodded. "I know, but I think we're meant to find out." As they moved back toward the core, a sudden jolt ran through the ship. Panels shifted, corridors trembled, and a low hum turned into a deep vibration. Ethan realized the ship was reacting to them, testing them. It was alive, and it was learning. He smiled. "Looks like we've got a lot of work to do," Maya grinned, "and a lot of adventure ahead." The colossal ship floated silently in the void, a sleeping giant awakening under human hands. Outside, other ships in the scrapyard seemed small and insignificant. Inside, Ethan and Maya worked tirelessly, unaware that eyes across the galaxy were beginning to notice the stirrings of something ancient and powerful, something that might change everything. Ethan paused for a moment and looked out of a viewport. Stars stretched infinitely, but for the first time he felt like he belonged among them. The colossal ship had waited long enough, and with humans at its controls, it might finally fulfill a destiny no alien had ever imagined. And so, in the quiet darkness of space, surrounded by the relics of countless civilizations, Ethan and Maya began the task of waking a giant. A giant that would not just fight wars, but think, adapt, and perhaps in the hands of humans, change the very balance of power in the galaxy. The ship shivered again, a low vibration like a giant's sigh, and Ethan knew it had taken its first real breath in thousands of years. For the first time, the last breath of a colossal ship was in human hands. Ethan and Maya worked tirelessly, day and night, inside the colossal ship. Every corridor they explored seemed endless, every deck larger than a small city. Yet, despite the size, the ship moved with a quiet intelligence, as if it understood that humans were now in charge. The humming core, once faint and lifeless, now pulsed with energy, slowly spreading life through the vast vessel. The first real breakthrough came when Ethan connected the main power relays to one of the alien control hubs. Sparks flew, and the lights along the walls brightened, revealing details that had been invisible in the darkness. The corridors were lined with panels that shimmered like water, and the air smelled faintly of ozone. Maya stared in awe, running her hand over a console. "It's amazing," she said. "I can feel it like it's listening to us." Ethan grinned. Machines don't listen, they respond. But this, he paused, tapping a glowing panel. This is something else entirely. Over the next few days, they mapped out more of the ship. It was a labyrinth of corridors, chambers, and systems that defied human understanding. Some sections seemed organic, like the walls themselves were alive, breathing slowly. Others were mechanical beyond anything humans had ever built. Ethan was fascinated by how the ship combined the two. He could see patterns in the chaos, ways the systems supported one another. Maya worked on translating the alien systems into something humans could understand. She discovered that some controls were more than just technology, they were like thought interfaces. The ship responded better when humans touched it in ways that made sense to their minds, rather than just following alien logic. It's almost like it wants us to be clever, Maya said one night as she floated beside Ethan in the control hub. It doesn't want us to copy what the aliens did, it wants us to think for ourselves. Ethan nodded. That's the best part. Humans always find a way when others fail. Maybe that's why it chose us. Their work did not go unnoticed. Sensors on the scrapyard station picked up unusual energy readings from the colossal ship. Word traveled quickly. Within hours, ships from several nearby sectors arrived, curious or suspicious. Some were scouts, sending small drones toward the vessel. Others were armed ships, moving cautiously. They're watching us, Maya said, pointing to the viewport. They think we can't handle it, Ethan smiled. Let them watch. Humans don't follow rules the way others do. We improvise. The first confrontation came sooner than they expected. A small alien craft approached the ship, weapons raised. Ethan and Maya were inside, working on a section of the core that had begun to stabilize when the sensors beeped urgently. Hostile incoming, Maya said, her fingers flying across the panel. They don't want us to activate it. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Good, let's show them why humans shouldn't be underestimated. He accessed the ship's auxiliary defense systems, a section still dormant from centuries of inactivity. By using a combination of human engineering and alien technology, he brought the systems online in record time. Turrets aligned themselves, shields activated, and energy pulses began circulating along the hull. The ship was not just awake, it was aware, ready to defend itself. The alien craft fired first, beams of light cutting through the void. But the colossal ship reacted faster. Shields flared, energy beams intercepted the attack, and the alien ship was forced to retreat. Ethan and Maya watched as their work came to life, feeling a thrill neither had ever experienced. It works, Maya whispered. It's alive and it's on our side. Ethan nodded, though he felt a twinge of caution. We have to be careful. This ship is powerful, but it's also new to humans. We can't rush it. Over the next week, they worked to bring more sections online. Ethan repaired mechanical systems using a combination of human tools and alien parts. Maya translated data cores and mapped control networks. Slowly, the ship's systems began to adapt to human methods. It was no longer purely alien. It was becoming something new, a hybrid of alien design and human ingenuity. The ship responded in ways neither of them expected. Corridors rearranged themselves, moving obstacles and opening new pathways to make maintenance easier. Systems predicted problems before they happened, adjusting energy flow and stabilizing components. It was as if the vessel had learned to anticipate human thought. One night, as they floated in the main chamber, Ethan said, "I think it trusts us." Maya smiled. Not just trusts. It depends on us. It knows humans think differently, and it's using that. Their bond with the ship grew stronger. They no longer saw it as just a machine. It was almost like a partner, a silent ally that shared their goals and responded to their actions. And with each system they brought online, the ship became more than a weapon. It became a platform, capable of thinking, adapting, and evolving. But not everyone welcomed this new alliance. Reports came in of other species forming fleets, preparing to take the ship by force. They saw humans handling a weapon of unimaginable power and feared what they could do with it. They think we can't handle it, Ethan said, studying the sensors. Let them come. They'll learn humans aren't weak. Maya looked uneasy. Do you really want to fight? Ethan shook his head. Not exactly, but if they force us, we won't back down. It wasn't long before the first real challenge arrived. A fleet of alien ships moved into the scrapyard, surrounding the colossal ship. Energy weapons flared in the distance, ready to attack. Ethan and Maya stood in the main control chamber, watching the alien fleet carefully. Ethan, we can't take all of them at once, Maya said. Even this ship has limits. Ethan thought for a moment, then grinned. Limits are for those who don't think. Humans think differently. Watch this. He began activating the ship's transformation protocols, an alien design that allowed the vessel to reconfigure itself. Sections of the hull shifted, energy conduits rearranged, and weapons repositioned. The ship was no longer just a massive object floating in space. It was a living fortress, adaptive and flexible. The alien fleet fired, and the colossal ship responded immediately. Energy shields flared, and automated weapon systems neutralized the incoming attacks. But Ethan did not follow the patterns the aliens had used. Instead, he improvised, directing systems in ways that were unpredictable. The ship twisted and turned in space, dodging beams while striking with precise counters. Maya watched in amazement. It's like it's thinking with you, she said. Ethan nodded, feeling a rush of exhilaration. That's the point. This ship isn't following old rules. It's learning human rules, and we make the rules as we go. By the end of the battle, the alien fleet had been forced to retreat. The colossal ship floated silently once more, humming with renewed energy. Ethan and Maya floated among the corridors, exhausted but triumphant. Did we just win? Maya asked, disbelief in her voice. Ethan smiled. Not just win, we taught them a lesson. Humans don't just survive. We adapt. We improve. That's what makes us different. For the next several weeks, they continued to explore and repair the ship. Ethan discovered hidden compartments filled with alien weapons, energy sources, and information cores. Maya analyzed these and found instructions, battle logs, and designs that no human had ever seen. They learned that the ship had been built for war, but its systems were designed for adaptability rather than brute force. They also began to understand the potential of the vessel. It could change its shape, adapt its weapons, and even manipulate energy fields in ways humans had never imagined. But it required human guidance, intuition, and decision-making. Alone, the ship could not operate at full potential. This ship, it needs humans, Ethan said one evening as they floated near the core. Not just as pilots, but as partners. Maya nodded. And humans need it. Together, we're stronger than anything else out there. Word of the colossal ship's awakening spread across the galaxy. Some species sent envoys, curious and cautious. Others prepared fleets, fearing human control of such a weapon. Ethan and Maya realized that their work was far from over. They were not just repairing a ship, they were stepping into a role that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Yet, despite the looming threats, they felt a sense of hope. The ship was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of what humans could do when faced with impossible challenges. It responded to human creativity, resilience, and ingenuity. It was living proof that humans could take what others abandoned and turn it into something extraordinary. And so, as the colossal ship drifted silently in space, Ethan and Maya continued their work. They repaired, restored, and guided the ancient vessel, preparing it for a galaxy that would soon realize that humans were a force unlike any other. The ship had awakened, and with humans at its controls, it was no longer a relic of the past. It was a new beginning, a living testament to human skill, courage, and imagination. Outside, distant fleets gathered, unaware that the humans inside the ship were not just repairing it. They were transforming it into something far greater than anyone had ever imagined. Ethan looked out at the stars, feeling the energy of the ship hum beneath his hands. "We're ready," he said softly. Maya smiled. "Then let's see what humans and a colossal ship can really do." The giant stirred again, its lights pulsing like a heartbeat, ready to respond to its new crew. For the first time, it was not just a weapon. It was a living testament to human ingenuity, capable of facing the galaxy on its own terms. And so, humans and machine worked together, preparing for a future that no one had predicted. A future where the last breath of a colossal ship would become the first step of a human-led legend. Ethan and Maya had never worked so hard in their lives. The colossal ship had awakened, and now it was time to see what it could really do. Every corridor hummed with energy, every panel glowed with life, and every system seemed to respond as if it could think for itself. Yet it was still learning, still adapting, and that meant they had to guide it carefully. "We need to understand the weapons fully before we even think about leaving the scrapyard," Ethan said, floating in the main control chamber. His hands moved across the panels, activating one system after another. This ship isn't just big, it's smart, and if we push it too fast, we could hurt ourselves. Maya nodded, her eyes scanning the displays. We also need to figure out how it thinks. Every alien system here reacts differently to our input. It's not like any human ship we've ever seen. They spent hours analyzing the ship's energy flows. The main weapons arrays were enormous, capable of firing energy beams that could destroy entire stations. But the ship had multiple layers of redundancy, allowing it to reconfigure itself in mid-battle. Ethan realized that unlike alien pilots who followed rigid protocols, humans could think creatively. That was the advantage they had. Ethan started running tests. He fired energy pulses into empty space, watching as the ship adjusted its shields and weapons automatically. Maya monitored the systems, making small tweaks to the energy flow. The ship responded immediately, its hull panels sliding into new positions, shielding weak points while focusing firepower on the test targets. It's learning, Maya said, astonished. It's not just reacting, it's predicting. Ethan smiled. That's what humans bring to the table. We don't just follow instructions, we improvise. And this ship, it adapts to improvisation. The first real test came sooner than they expected. Sensors picked up a fleet approaching from a nearby sector. Alien vessels, larger and more numerous than the scouts they had fought before, were moving in, weapons ready. Ethan and Maya exchanged a glance. They're coming for us, Maya said, her voice tense. They don't want us to take this ship into the galaxy. Ethan's expression hardened. Then we show them why humans are different. We don't just fight, we outthink. They activated the ship's full transformation systems. Sections of the hull shifted, weapons repositioned, and energy flows redirected. The ship was no longer just a massive vessel. It was a living fortress, ready to face multiple threats at once. The alien fleet fired first. Beams of energy cut through space, but the ship's shields flared instantly, absorbing the attacks. Ethan guided the ship with human intuition, directing energy to weak points in real time. Maya monitored alien patterns, predicting their next moves. Together, they worked seamlessly with the vessel. Ethan laughed, a thrill running through him. It's working. It's really working, the ship responded, turning its weapons toward the fleet with deadly precision. Energy beams struck multiple targets at once, not destroying everything mindlessly, but disabling engines, cutting communications, and forcing retreat. The aliens had never faced a weapon that thought and adapted like this. Maya floated beside him, wide-eyed. They don't know what hit them. They'll learn, Ethan said, his eyes fixed on the displays. Humans always make them learn. After the battle, the ship drifted silently once more. Ethan and Maya floated through the corridors, exhausted but exhilarated. The ship had survived its first real combat under human control, and it had done so without unnecessary destruction. That was the key. Humans did not destroy everything. They controlled power, used it intelligently. Over the next few weeks, they focused on expanding the ship's capabilities. Ethan repaired alien systems, integrating human tools and methods where the originals had failed. Maya translated the remaining alien codes, allowing the ship to access databases it had never used. Slowly, the vessel became something new, not just an alien warship, but a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien engineering. They discovered hidden systems that allowed the ship to manipulate gravity, bend energy fields, and even shield entire sections of space from detection. The more they worked, the more the ship seemed to trust them, moving in anticipation of their needs. It was not just a weapon, it was a partner, but the galaxy was taking notice. Reports came in of humans controlling a vessel unlike any other. Some species sent envoys offering alliances. Others prepared fleets determined to stop what they saw as a threat. Ethan and Maya realized that controlling this ship was no longer just about survival. It was about responsibility. One night, while testing the ship's movement systems near a distant star, they received a warning. A massive fleet from the central sector was moving in, larger than anything they had encountered. Thousands of ships, weapons bristling, engines glowing. They were not coming to negotiate. They were coming to destroy the humans and take the ship. Maya's hands trembled as she looked at the display. Ethan, we can't fight them all. Even with this ship, there are too many. Ethan's jaw tightened. We won't fight them all, we'll fight smart. That's the human way. He activated the ship's cloaking systems, a technology long forgotten by the galaxy. The colossal vessel shimmered and became almost invisible, moving silently among the stars. Using intelligence and strategy, Ethan guided the ship through enemy lines, avoiding direct confrontation while observing their formations. "We can't stay hidden forever," Maya said. "They'll find us." "We don't need to hide forever," Ethan said. "We need to show them what humans can do." The first strike came at dawn, or at least what passed for dawn in space. Alien ships fired on empty space where they thought the humans were. Ethan used the ship's adaptive systems to redirect energy, creating phantom targets and confusing sensors. The fleet fired blindly, wasting energy and ammunition. The colossal ship moved like a shadow, striking only when necessary. Maya directed targeted counterattacks, using energy pulses to disable engines and communications. The ship did not destroy for the sake of destruction. It disabled, controlled, and forced the enemy to retreat without annihilating them. Every move was calculated, every action guided by human creativity and intelligence. Hours passed, and by the end, the fleet was scattered, retreating in confusion and fear. Ethan floated in the control chamber, wiping sweat from his forehead. "They won't underestimate humans again," he said. Maya smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "We made them learn, and without killing them all, that's human." The colossal ship seemed to hum in agreement, energy pulsing rhythmically through its core. Ethan realized that it was more than a machine. It was alive, thinking, and learning from its new crew. It had become an extension of human skill, creativity, and strategy. But there was no time to rest. Reports came in of other species forming alliances, fleets preparing to challenge them. Ethan and Maya knew that the ship's true potential had to be realized. They had to push further, explore systems deeper than the aliens had ever imagined, and integrate human methods fully into the vessel. They began working on advanced systems, combining alien technology with human innovations. Ethan designed new energy conduits that allowed faster power distribution, while Maya optimized the ship's interface to respond to human thought patterns. Slowly, the vessel became capable of thinking several steps ahead, predicting enemy movements and adjusting its systems automatically. The more they worked, the more the ship adapted to human creativity. It learned improvisation, unpredictability, and flexibility, qualities no alien could fully exploit. Ethan realized that humans had something the galaxy had underestimated for centuries: the ability to innovate under pressure, to turn obstacles into advantages. One day, while running simulations in the core chamber, they noticed the ship performing actions on its own. It was reconfiguring weapons and shields in response to potential threats it had never encountered. Ethan and Maya watched in awe. "It's learning faster than we thought," Maya said. "It's not just following instructions, it's thinking with us." Ethan nodded. "That's exactly what makes it powerful. It's human and alien combined. It adapts in ways no one else can." As they continued, they discovered that the ship could do more than fight. It could manipulate energy to create barriers, heal damaged systems, and even assist nearby allies. Ethan realized that if used wisely, the vessel could protect entire colonies, not just destroy enemies. Yet the galaxy was watching. Word spread of a human crew controlling a living weapon, capable of feats no one thought possible. Some species feared them, some admired them, and some plotted to take the ship by force. Ethan and Maya knew that the real challenge had just begun. They spent long hours strategizing, running simulations, and testing systems. Ethan pushed the ship's capabilities further, improvising ways to increase energy efficiency, weapons accuracy, and maneuverability. Maya worked to ensure that the ship could interpret human intent correctly, translating complex thought patterns into machine responses. Finally, after weeks of preparation, they felt ready. The ship was fully awake, fully responsive, and fully human-adapted. It was no longer just an alien warship. It was the ultimate galactic armament, but one that reflected human thinking, restraint, and strategy. Ethan looked at Maya and said, "We're ready. If the galaxy wants to challenge us, we'll show them what humans and a colossal ship can really do." Maya smiled, her eyes shining. "Then let's make them see the difference between humans and everyone else." The colossal ship pulsed with energy, alive and aware. Outside, fleets gathered, and the galaxy braced for what it had never imagined. Humans controlling a living, adaptive weapon that could change the rules of war entirely. For Ethan and Maya, the adventure had only begun. They had turned a dying relic into the ultimate galactic armament, and the galaxy would soon learn that under human hands, even the last breath of a colossal ship could become a new beginning. Ethan and Maya floated through the colossal ship, watching its systems pulse with a steady rhythm. The battles they had faced had tested them, but the ship had survived, and so had they. It was no longer just a machine. It had become a living testament to human ingenuity. Every corridor, every control panel, every energy conduit reflected the minds of its new crew. Outside the ship, the galaxy watched with a mix of fear and awe. Word had spread quickly. Reports of humans controlling a vessel that adapted, learned, and fought intelligently had traveled across sectors. Some saw it as a threat, others as a symbol of hope. Ethan knew that what they had done was bigger than just surviving. They had changed the way the galaxy would see humans forever. Maya floated beside him, her eyes scanning the displays. "Ethan, do you think they'll ever trust us?" Ethan shook his head slowly. "Trust isn't given, Maya. It's earned. And right now, the galaxy has no choice but to respect what we've built." They spent the next several days upgrading the ship further. Ethan worked on integrating human-designed systems, creating interfaces that allowed the ship to anticipate human actions even more accurately. Maya focused on safety protocols and energy efficiency, making sure the vessel could handle extended battles without exhausting its resources. The ship had become more than a weapon. It could defend entire sectors, manipulate energy to shield colonies, and even disable fleets without destroying them. Ethan realized that its power was not just in its strength, but in its intelligence. The vessel responded to humans, learned from them, and acted in ways no alien could predict. One day, as they floated in the main control chamber, a warning appeared on the display. A fleet from a distant sector was approaching, larger and more organized than any they had seen before. Ethan and Maya exchanged a glance. "They've come to take the ship," Maya said, her voice tense. "This fleet, it's huge." Ethan nodded. "Then we won't fight the way they expect." "Humans never do. We'll show them something new." They activated the ship's advanced defensive systems. Hull sections shifted, energy conduits redirected power, and automated systems prepared for engagement. But instead of attacking immediately, Ethan guided the vessel into a new tactic. The ship split its power, creating phantom signatures in space, confusing enemy sensors. It moved unpredictably, striking only when necessary, disabling engines and communications instead of destroying ships. The alien fleet was caught off guard. Their formations fell apart, and their attacks became ineffective. Ethan and Maya worked together, directing the ship with precision. Every move was calculated, yet unpredictable. They were not just controlling the ship, they were thinking with it. After hours of careful maneuvers, the fleet retreated, unable to handle the ship's intelligence and adaptability. Ethan and Maya floated in silence, exhausted but triumphant. "We did it," Maya whispered. "Without killing them all, that's human," Ethan smiled. "Exactly. That's what makes us different. We don't just fight, we control, we adapt, we survive smarter than anyone else." With the immediate threat gone, they turned their attention to the ship's long-term purpose. They realized that such a powerful vessel could not belong to any one species. If misused, it could destroy entire systems. Ethan knew they had to make a choice: keep it as a weapon of war or transform it into something greater. "I think it's time to give it a new role," Ethan said, studying the core. "It shouldn't just fight, it should protect. It should be a reminder that humans can create power responsibly." Maya nodded. "Then we need to build in safeguards, make sure it can't be used for conquest. Only defense, only protection." They began the process of transformation. Ethan rewired systems to include automatic shutdown protocols if the ship fell into the wrong hands. Maya programmed energy shields and fleet defense mechanisms to operate independently, allowing the ship to protect colonies even without constant human input. Slowly, the vessel became more than a weapon. It became a guardian. Weeks passed as they completed the final upgrades. The ship now had the ability to patrol space autonomously, respond to threats intelligently, and even assist in peaceful exploration. Its power was immense, but controlled, guided by human ethics and strategy. During this time, Ethan and Maya discovered hidden sections of the ship filled with records from the original alien creators. They found logs, battle simulations, and research data. The aliens had built the ship to dominate, but they had also left clues showing it could evolve, adapt, and even choose new guardians. Ethan realized that the vessel had waited for the right crew, not the strongest, but the cleverest, the most adaptable. They knew humans would come, Ethan said one night as they reviewed the records. They built this ship to respond to someone who could think differently, someone who could innovate. Maya smiled faintly. And we did. We turned it into something better than they imagined. As the ship patrolled the outskirts of the galaxy, word spread quickly. Some species approached cautiously, seeking alliance. Others sent observers to study the vessel, realizing that humans had created something unique, a weapon that could think, adapt, and follow ethics. The colossal ship became a symbol, not of fear, but of possibility. It represented what humans could achieve: creativity, intelligence, and responsibility combined with raw power. Ethan and Maya continued to guide it, exploring unknown regions, assisting colonies, and maintaining balance in space. Despite its power, the ship never acted without human guidance. It had learned restraint, and it trusted the humans who had awakened it. Ethan often floated through the corridors, watching systems pulse with life. He felt a connection to the vessel, as if it were alive and aware of his presence. Maya joined him one day, floating beside the core. "Do you ever think about how far we've come?" she asked quietly. Ethan nodded. "All the time, from a forgotten scrap in orbit to this, a living weapon that can protect entire systems. Humans made this possible." "It's more than just humans," Maya said. "It's the combination, the ship and us together. Neither could do this alone." Ethan smiled. "Exactly, that's the point. Humans think differently, and this ship adapts to that. Together, we're unstoppable, but not because we destroy. Because we create solutions, outthink our enemies, and use power responsibly." The ship stirred beneath them, lights pulsing rhythmically as if agreeing. Ethan and Maya floated quietly, watching the stars stretch into infinity. The galaxy was vast and full of unknown threats, but they were ready. With humans at its core, the colossal ship could face anything. One day, a new message arrived from a distant system. A colony was under threat from a pirate fleet. Ethan and Maya activated the ship immediately. It moved faster than any vessel in the galaxy, guided by instinct and human innovation. Energy shields flared, weapons systems focused, and the ship disabled the pirates without destroying them entirely. The colony hailed the humans as heroes. Ethan smiled, realizing that the ship had become more than a weapon. It was a guardian, a protector, a symbol of human potential. Over time, other species began to understand. They studied human methods, learning that strength without intelligence was useless. The colossal ship had shown them that humans could combine creativity, strategy, and responsibility to achieve results no one thought possible. Ethan and Maya continued their work, patrolling the galaxy, assisting colonies, and maintaining the delicate balance of power. The ship remained adaptive, alive, and learning, but always guided by human hands. One evening, as they floated through the observation deck, Maya looked out at the stars. "Do you think the galaxy will ever stop fearing us?" Ethan shook his head. "Maybe not. But they'll respect us, and that's enough. Humans don't need to rule. We just need to show what we can do when we're clever, ethical, and determined." The ship pulsed beneath them, a living giant responding to human guidance. Ethan realized that their adventure was far from over. The galaxy would always bring challenges, but humans, together with the colossal ship, could meet them. And so, the last breath of the colossal ship had become something new. It was no longer a relic of war. It was a living guardian, shaped by human hands, guided by human ethics, and capable of facing the galaxy with intelligence and restraint. Ethan and Maya floated through the control chambers, watching the vessel pulse with life. It had chosen them, and they had chosen it. Together, they had turned an ancient weapon into the ultimate armament, not just for war, but for protection, for learning, and for hope. As the colossal ship jumped into hyperspace, heading toward distant, uncharted sectors, Ethan looked at Maya. "This is just the beginning. The galaxy doesn't know it yet, but humans have changed everything." Maya smiled. "And we'll make sure it stays that way." The ship's lights pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and strong. In the vast darkness of space, the last breath of the colossal ship had become the first step of a new era, a time when humans and their ingenuity would leave a mark that no alien technology could ever match. The galaxy watched, some with fear, some with hope, but all with respect. Humans had awakened a giant and turned it into something beyond destruction, something alive, something that reflected the best of what humanity could achieve. And Ethan and Maya knew one thing for certain. With human creativity, intelligence, and determination, no challenge in the galaxy was too great. The colossal ship drifted forward, alive, aware, and eternal, a symbol of human potential that would inspire generations to come. The last breath of a colossal ship, human mechanic turns it into the ultimate galactic armament.